In my early 20s, my one goal was to build a £1,000 investment portfolio, and just before Christmas Day 2017, I did it. Today I wanted to share why everything changed for me once I invested that first £1,000, and if you understand these 4 things, why investing becomes the easiest decision you'll ever make. There is this calculation that completely blew my mind, and that's if you have a 30-year investing time horizon, every £1 that you invest today is worth £8.12 in the future, assuming average market returns. That creates an enormous opportunity cost for every single pound that we spend today. And what I mean by that is beyond our necessities and things that provide economic utility, like needing a car to get to work, what we spend today for instant pleasure is a potential sacrifice of the wealth of our future selves. When I found this out, it made me think totally different about how much I spend today knowing the potential future costs. Like, is the £530 a year caffeine addiction actually worth the £4,303.60 to our future selves? Well, I may argue that it probably does, given that I'm currently sat here sipping on a latte as I write this very video, because it helps me get focused for work. But even so, the framing here isn't about getting rid of every single coffee that you ever have out at a cafe, and instead it's about identifying where the potential needless expenses are in your day-to-day life, and then potentially eliminating at least some of them. It could be that extra takeaway because you can't be asked to cook, the Netflix subscription that we barely watch anymore, the new £120 pair of trainers, even though you've got 8 pairs already sat in the cupboard. I'm guilty as charged on all of these fronts, but spending and not investing is where the compound effect starts to work against you, silently and almost invisibly, taking you further and further away from ever generating any kind of wealth. And it's also why it may feel so hard to get started investing, because there isn't the spare 25, 50, 100 or 250 pounds a month sat in your bank account come the end of the month. Because it certainly reframed my thinking about my own spending habits, knowing that for every £1,000 invested instead of spent could be worth somewhere in the region of £8,120 in future. That's money that's compounding in your favour for once and benefiting from market returns and growing your wealth over the long term. That's real tangible future value that you could potentially use to retire early, go on a dream holiday, or do some other big ticket thing that you'd like to do at some point in your life. But I'll admit, proposing a mathematical solution isn't necessarily enough to change your behaviour, because if it was, then none of us would vape, none of us would go to the gym, and we wouldn't eat a £4 meal deal when we know we've got lunch which was perfectly made at home. So maths doesn't change behaviour, something else does, and that's what we're going to discuss next. Here's a number that I genuinely find staggering. 42% of adults have not invested a single penny in 2026. All at a time when the global stock market is up over 7% year to date, and that's while the average savings account is only paying around 2% in interest. So what's exactly stopping people from investing their money? Well, the most cited reason is that they're worried that they'd lose it. Look, I totally get it. I felt like that once too. Look, when I first started out investing, I had like 30% of my portfolio held in bonds because I was scared of losing money. Because that's just how our brains are hardwired, and there's decades of research to back this up. In 1979, a research paper was released introducing the concept of loss aversion. The core finding across a number of different tests was that the pain of losing something feels roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the equivalent amount. Let me show you exactly what that looks like with a simple game of heads or tails, but let's apply some stakes. If, let's say, it lands on tails, then you need to pay me £100. But if it lands on heads, then I will pay you £150. Would you take that bet? Mathematically you should, because it's got a positive expected value, especially if we repeat the game many times over, but let's see the results. It did actually land on heads, and you should have took the bet because you would have been £150 better off. But most people won't take that bet because the fear of losing £100 outweighs the potential appeal of gaining £150. The potential loss feels bigger than the potential gain, and I guess that's the reason why there is over £614 billion in excess cash sat in safe savings accounts rather than being invested in the stock market. It's a perfectly normal, in some ways completely rational response, but rationality in the short term can be completely irrational over the long term and can be massively detrimental to your future. Let me now share with you some long-term data around risk and loss, which makes this a little bit more interesting. When assessing the S&P 500, which is just the top 500 companies in the US, between 1871 and 2020, Schroders found that over a short time period of less than a year, your risk of unrealized loss was above 30%. But the longer that you stayed invested for, the chance of loss reduced significantly. After a 20-year time horizon, the risk of loss was as little as 0.1%. So that very thing that loss aversion is protecting you from almost becomes statistically irrelevant when you're investing over a long enough time period. And that's why that first £1,000 is so important. You cannot access that 20-year outcome without first feeling the pain of short-term discomfort. You can't build the composure to stay invested during a market pullback until you've experienced one first. You need skin in the game to feel that loss aversion on your own terms at a scale that feels manageable. Because once you stay the course, it opens up a whole new psychological shift, where that £1,000 is just the starting point to something much greater, providing that you can overcome that fear first. But the platform that you use to invest that first £1,000 is just as important as anything else. So I've recently opened a Stocks and Shares ISA account with Lightyear, and I'm doing a brand new mini investing series, investing £150 a month. And the goal here is to build it to £1,000 and beyond, the exact milestone that we've been talking about during this video. My main focus for the challenge will be on broad market diversification, as that's important to me. Now, of course, that's not a recommendation, but if you are unsure where to start, well, Lightyear have recently launched ready-made plans, where you can choose between a moderate mix, a growth group, or the all-world wonder, all with varying degrees of risk, as you can see from the exposure to stocks and bonds. If I tap on the growth group, it displays a clear list of all the underlying fund exposures. I can set up an auto-invest feature so I can have my portfolio on autopilot, choosing an amount and a frequency that I'm comfortable with, hit confirm, and the app will handle the rest. For the stocks ISA, there are no account fees, no commission fees, and FX fees are just 0.1% where applicable. Obviously, fund manager fees do still apply though, but this does make Lightyear one of the most competitive platforms on the market today. Now, I reached out to Lightyear and they kindly offered to sponsor today's video, and they are currently offering all new customers one free fractional share or ETF of your choice into your general investment account when you scan the QR code here or click on the link down in the description below and open an account. Alternatively, inside the app, enter the promo code Mitch once you've completed onboarding and deposited at least £100 into your account, and you'll still qualify for that free fractional share or ETF. As always, investing does involve risk, and the value of your investments can go down as well as up. Okay, all of what we've discussed so far is super important, but this next bit is what actually took me from that first £1,000 to a £100,000 investment portfolio. Most people would look at a £1,000 portfolio and you might think, okay, that looks great, but it's not exactly early retirement money. Even if you achieved average market returns on that, which is about 10%, which is still amazing, that's still only £100, which is hardly life-changing money. And you're right, if you stop there at a £1,000 investment portfolio, it's not going to change your life. But that first £1,000 isn't about the wealth, it's about the discipline that it teaches. And look, I want to be completely honest with you guys right now. If you are sat watching this video, perhaps living paycheck to paycheck, me saying about investing £1,000 might seem like a complete joke. Because the reality is right now, 57.1% of 18 to 24 year olds and 47.8% of 25 to 34 year olds have less than £1,000 to their name. All at the same time, the Prince's Trust has reported that happiness and confidence with money has hit the lowest level on record since polling began during the global financial crisis. And over half of young people aged 16 to 25 are worried that they'll never be financially secure. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm going to be a little bit serious for a second. I really hate this for us. I hate that so many people feel like this, and I think these are awful statistics. However, I genuinely hope that this channel is trying to make some kind of positive change, and it doesn't matter how old you are. What I'm about to share next hopefully will help you build some momentum in the right direction. Because the real problem here is that our brains are actually hardwired to hate the exact process to building to a £1,000 portfolio. In behavioural psychology, this is known as hyperbolic discounting, which is a psychological phenomenon in which individuals prioritise smaller immediate rewards over larger future rewards. This, for investors getting started out, creates a massive psychological barrier. Because if I started out thinking, well, I'm going to build a £100,000 portfolio, perhaps even £1 million portfolio, and once perhaps I got the ball rolling just a little bit, I probably would have quickly realized that that felt quite overwhelming and seemingly impossible to achieve. And as a result, I may have just quit altogether. This, however, I think is where the magic of the first £1,000 comes into play. It isn't one giant impossible leap broken down into smaller goals. It's 5 lots of £200 or 10 lots of £100. Just investing monthly, this £1,000 target could quite easily be achieved within 12 months. This is where I think there is power in taking some of the bigger financial goals that you may have and breaking them down into smaller steps, and then just replicating the process that you've taken to achieve previous milestones in order to get to the next one. If you can do this, you will find the psychological conflict flips entirely, and there's research to back this up from Harvard Business School called the progress principle, where they found that making consistent incremental progress towards a goal releases a powerful amount of dopamine in the brain. Now, this really resonates with me in my own investing journey, because I really did find that once I achieved that first £1,000 milestone, it was like a bit of a catapult to the next milestones of like 5, 10, 25, 50 and £100,000. But it all started with small habits and discipline to get to that first £1,000. But in this next section, I now want to share what's possible if you're actually able to do this. In a minute, I'm going to show you a chart that I think every person in their 20s and 30s should be absolutely forced to see. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and it completely reframes what that first £1,000 is actually worth. Because most people don't realize this until it's too late, but the most valuable asset that you have today is something that you can't get more of, you can't buy back, and once it's gone, it's gone. And that thing is your time. Time is the single greatest wealth building tool that you have at your disposal if you are in your 20s or your 30s right now. And I'm going to share you exactly what I mean with two people called Matt and Mason. Mason starts out investing with £100 a month at age 22. Matt starts out investing with the same £100 a month but at age 32. They invest exactly the same amount in the same FTSE All-World fund, which if we inflationary adjust the returns of 10.17% down to 7.5% per year, but assume that both also gradually increase their contributions over time as they earn more money, they both would have achieved a £1,000 portfolio just before their 23rd and 33rd birthday respectively. But here's what that grows to by age 60. Mason ends up with over £200,000 more than Matt, despite only depositing an extra 12 grand. I literally cannot stress this point enough, because if we use the 4% withdrawal rate, that's nearly 2.5 times more in annual income just from a stocks ISA, excluding any other pensions, just from knowing to start early. Look, that's just the difference between two individuals who still have plenty of time. That's not even comparing it to the person who's 42, 52, or perhaps even 62, which would make this a whole lot harder. And so I wish I could share this with every single young person, because I think it demonstrates the importance of starting investing early, not just thinking, oh, I'll do it one day and just kicking the can down the road. I'm not saying it's easy to find the cash, student loans are freaking ridiculous, rents are high, all whilst at a time where your income is probably at its lowest. So it's also perfectly normal to feel like investing just isn't for you at this point in time. But the math tells us the cost of waiting a decade could be up to half of the value of your investment portfolio, and could be the difference between retiring early or perhaps having to work until your late 60s. That's because the compounding effect isn't linear, it's exponential. But at the beginning it's slow, and that's why most people will just wait to start investing. But the longer you wait, the more of that curve that you miss, and you cannot go back and buy more of it. Now, does this mean that you need to go and invest £1,000 tomorrow? Absolutely not. Does it mean you need to sacrifice every single thing that you enjoy in your life to maximize your ISAs? No, certainly not, because I like my lattes too. What it does mean though is one of the single best things that you can do is to get started investing early and get to that £1,000 milestone as quickly as possible. Because I've shown what that first £1,000 does in the context of time. It doesn't just put money into the market, it's the starting point on the clock, if you like, to build perhaps a 5, 6 or even 7-figure investment portfolio. In my view, that first £1,000 doesn't just change how you think, but it also could potentially mathematically change the financial future that you have in your life. The most important thing here from this video to take away here is that you just must start the clock. I've been documenting my own investing journey, starting completely from zero with just £150 a month. Now, if you want to follow along that journey, then be sure to click on this video next, where I'll show you exactly what I'm investing in. With that being said, I'll see you over in the next one.